I wasn't always lucky with the social workers I had, but there was one social worker I want to talk about. Her name was Maria. What was brilliant about her is I had about 8 social workers in the space of 3 years at one point. And she was my second ever social worker. She became my social worker during my third foster placement. She wasn't my social worker for very long. She then moved to the leaving care team for a bit, and I was 15 at this point, so I wasn't part of that. But then when I was 17, a year and a half later, I'm in my 6th foster placement. I was then transferred to the leaving care team, so she was made my social worker again, and oh my God, did she have my back. When I became pregnant while I was in foster care. I was very young. I would never encourage it. And there were all these doubts about how I would be as a mother because I was so young and because I was in care. And there were a few social workers who weren't directly my social worker, but they were involved, who did question my sort of, well, how will she be as a mum? Do we think she'll be a good mum? Maria had my back. She made a point in a meeting that I was part of. She just stood up and she said, listen, I first met this girl 2 years ago. The girl who is here today, you don't even know how much improvement she has made. She is not the same girl I knew 2 years ago. She has grown up. And yeah, I still had way more growing up to do. But I'd never had a social worker stick up for me like that in my life, especially as she wasn't getting anything out of it. She didn't have to do that, but she really had my back. And it was so weird. A couple of years ago, well, I say a couple of years ago, it was probably like 8 years ago, but a few years after I left care, we bumped into each other in a bar. And it was just that awkward, like, should we say hi to each other because of how we know each other? And in the end, she just waved at me and I waved back, and that was that. But I kind of wish I'd gone up to her now. I don't know what she's doing now. I have no idea. But I sometimes think about, I just want to reach out to her and say thank you, because yeah, out of 8 social workers, she was the only one I can't even remember some of my old social workers' names, but I remember her, and I remember her for the right reasons. And it's just her who made a difference. Not many had ever made an effort to be there for me before and stick up for me before. She had my back, and she didn't just say these words out loud. She wrote it in my files that I believe in this girl. I believe in her, that she'll be a good parent. I believe in her that her child will not end up in care like she did. And my daughter's 12 in 2 months and has never been in care. So she was right.